But anyway, let's talk about Juice WRLD. So there's been a little predicament online, and I just wanted to step up before all the Juice fans start going at Juice WRLD's label, irrationally, per usual. Obviously, I'm not the biggest supporter of Juice WRLD's label because I think that they have been doing a lot of cash grabs. But, if his mom is getting the bag and she approves of all the releases so that she can live her best life for raising Juice, so be it. It's not really my decision. I can still give my opinion. But regardless, people are mad because of something Cuff Boys said on a video. No hate to him whatsoever, but I just thought I'd give my perspective. And hoodie with no shirt. Yeah, we fucking, we GTA up in this bitch. But anyway, here's what Cuff Boys said in his last video regarding exposing Juice WRLD's label, which I don't understand. Like, there's like a leak drama with Chase or some I don't know, some random people in the leak community that people somehow people get clout within the leak communities just for leaking songs. Very odd to me. But regardless, here is what they said.
Memory is very bad, so I don't know who told me this, but like 3 to 4 years ago when Juice WRLD was still alive, I believe. Yeah, I truly do not remember who told me this, but I remember being told this. Someone told me that Juice WRLD's management takes 50% of his money. Like, that was his contract with Grade A Productions, was they take 50% of his money. And I don't know if that's how it was when he passed away or after he passed away or anything, but I remember a source telling me this. I never talked about it publicly. I've known this for like 2 to 3 years, and I always thought that was insane. If Grade A ever actually signed anyone to a 50% deal, whether it was maybe that's why Leroy left at some point. Like, maybe they had him in a fucked deal. I don't know Leroy's situation, but if that was true and they had Juice and a 50% contract, that's insane. And I kind of just wanted to get that off my chest. But if someone told me that and they were wrong, then they were wrong. Memory is very bad, so I don't know.
Okay, people, let's see who knows what they're talking about. I posted this on Twitter knowing that some people would freak out because the Juice fans, again, like, any piece of evidence that they can latch onto just to like say fuck the label even though they don't know what they're talking about. Exactly. Someone said, okay, here we go, 50%, that's so low. Nah, bro, like no hate, but 50% is a good deal, bro. And I'll explain a little bit later, but that's actually much higher than most artists. Like, remember when Lil Uzi was in a label drama with DJ Drama, but also Don Cannon for Generation Now? It's because he had something like an 80-20 deal, maybe even less. Okay, and we're talking Uzi, because on EXO Tour Life he only made like 800k or 900k out of like 4.5 mil, which I believe comes out to 20%. So 50% for Juice WRLD is actually pretty solid. So again, no hate towards Cuff Boys, but the way he said like it's fucked, maybe that's the reason that Kid Leroy left or whatever. I'm like, what? 50% low-key a good deal. I don't know. And obviously there's more factors within a deal that make it good or bad depending on like what your advance was. I see somebody saying 3 million with 50% for an artist that does Drake streams is crazy. But the thing is, okay, he got $3 million up front. Think about it like a business. Juice WRLD is a business that creates a product, which is music, that then accrues revenue over time. Still does accrue revenue. But when they gave $3 million to Juice WRLD, they were taking a chance. They hooked him up with Lyrical Lemonade. I don't know how Juice WRLD met Nick Mira at the very beginning. It may have been before or after that. Maybe that's just a question for Nick and Taz to answer with internet money. But Juice WRLD did not have the same connections that he would have gotten independently. Independently, he may not have blown up. Now, personally, I think Juice WRLD was talented enough to blow up regardless, but it may have taken a few more years. And by that time, who knows what would have happened, like where trends of music would have gone, or, I don't know what could happen. And a lot of artists like have a 360 deal with like 10-20%. Like, again, 50% is a lot of money. Now, again, as I was saying before, think of it as a business. Say you got a coffee shop, right? You're not making any money. You're literally like break even. You can't even pay your rent. You're just fucking kid. You just got a coffee shop. You making coffee all day just so you can get by, and not even get by. Juice WRLD, you know, was dropping on SoundCloud, wasn't really monetizing his music. Then somebody comes up to you like, yo, here's $3 million so that we can soup up your goddamn coffee shop. You can start making cappuccinos with this huge ass machine. You're now Starbucks, right? Not actually Starbucks, but you're like a poppin' ass coffee shop because you renovated the whole building to $3 million. You got extra Wi-Fi. You got fucking employees that are cooking, whipping up hella crack behind the counter. Not actually crack, but like cookies that taste like crack. Got people addicted like it. And so what? You're just gonna give that person who invested or took a risk on you with $3 million, you're gonna give them 20%? No, 50% is actually pretty good, bro. Like, actually, if I was an investor and I gave you $3 million, I'd be like, give me 80%, bro. Give me 90. It's just ridiculous. Now, usually what happens with these label deals, after you get like the fat percentage, labels get like 80, 90, whatever. After 3 to 5 albums, depending on what the first contract is, then you renegotiate the next one and they'll give you either a fat advance, like what Trippie Redd got, which was like 30 million for 3 albums, but he probably doesn't have that big of a percentage, at least at the front, because the advance is just a loan, right? So once the label recoups all that money, then you start sharing the percentage. Before that, you literally just have the advance and that's it. And you also get taxed on it. But still, like, Juice WRLD given 50% to the label is actually like a solid deal for getting $3 million. People are just stupid. If you're independent, you get 100%. Yes. However, here's the thing about being independent. Think about this as a pie, right? This is coffee, but this is a circular pie. This is how big it is. When you're independent, you have 100% of this shit. But when you sign to a label, they're gonna put all this marketing budget into you, promotion. They got a whole front office that's doing all your, they're paying different blogs to post you constantly, putting you on Spotify playlists. So yes, you get a smaller piece of the pie, but that pie becomes like this big, as big as the fucking screen. And so the sum of your new smaller piece of the pie is much, much bigger than this small pie. And that's how businesses are run nowadays. Like, if you're the founder of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, and he had some other dude, his social media app could have fallen victim to being ass compared to the next social media that came through, like Twitter or something. But he took on investors and he went public by taking money from people who bought shares or stock, and then he used that money just like how Juice WRLD and his management used the label money to invest in himself, and then he blew up. And then now Mark Zuckerberg, even though he owns a smaller portion of Facebook, is now a billionaire. But if he stayed 100% owner of Facebook before, he wouldn't even be a millionaire potentially. He could have like not even blown up at all. Like he couldn't even, he might be on the fucking street homeless. So I'm just here to tell y'all, like, it's not a bad deal. Honestly, I was telling somebody in the comments, like, depending on how much money you get for the advance, you don't even need a percentage of that masters. Like Post Malone and other people literally sold or attempted, I think Lil Wayne recently, like last year, 2 years ago, sold his masters for like $1 kajillion. Post Malone tried to sell his for $100 million. He won't own any percentages, but imagine just being given $100 million. Now you can literally just put it into, I don't even know, like a bank account that gives you 3% interest or some shit, which sucks compared to inflation. But regardless, 3% of 100 million is what, 3 million a year passive. You don't have to do anything. So sometimes it's better to not get a percentage. But still, 50%, it's good. Don't know what people are talking about. People are stupid. Bishop Nehru can provide a lot of information. I remember you being signed. Yeah. Know anything about taking fat advances though? And this is not what Juice did, although he did it 50%. But if you don't recoup that advance, then they just won't let you drop, and then you can get shelves. That's the worst part about having a label. So you really gotta play your cards right, because they'll literally mitigate you from even fulfilling your contract, because they don't want to take a risk and use like a whole marketing budget on you just to release music, even though it literally costs like $15 a year to drop music independently on DistroKid. But yeah, label deals are a misconception for sure. Everybody thinks the label is evil, but really they're providing opportunities for these artists. If you ask me, it's just, you just got to look at it as a business, which a lot of people in music do not understand. The music business is a business. Okay. Hot take, only 1 out of 100 artists would actually be better off independent, especially most rappers. Exactly. Especially because most rappers aren't really that active. They just think that they're going to be Cardi and like tweet once. But I mean, again, y'all know this on the labels pay these blogs. They pay these blogs consistently on like a little salary almost to post certain artists a certain amount of times every single month to keep them relevant, while that artist may not even be tweeting or posting on Instagram. It just keeps them relevant. So that's what the label does. And that shit costs like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Actually more, thousands. You should see the budgets that these labels put into artists. Cuff Boys commented. Did he? Okay, Cuff Boys responded in the chat. He said, hey man, someone just told me you were talking about my video. To clarify, I heard it was 50% of everything, shows, merch, etc. That's really high. I'm pretty sure the standard is 15 to 25% for managers. Okay, so yes and no. That would mean it's a 360 deal. Again, it really depends on a lot of the terms that I do not have access to. But they were also his label too. So that's where it differs, because a lot of artists will have management where they'll take 20% or so, and then the label will take 80%, but the management will come out of it'll be 20% of the 20%, if that makes any sense. But yeah, again, this is no hate towards Cuff Boys at all. We were just discussing it. And I wanted to get ahead of the Juice WRLD fans like freaking out. That's the best 360 possible. Exactly, Johnny Socket.